Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. And today we will talk all about the Stark family from Game of Thrones. So sit back, relax, hit and smash that subscribe button while we talk all about the Stark family and their secrets. The first bit is, as we know, the house motto is "Winter is coming." But more to that later in the video. First up, we're going to talk about the Stark's connection with the White Walkers. Indubitably, the most mysterious element of the universe of the Song of Ice and Fire are the White Walkers, the beings of darkness. But are they actually beings of darkness, or is there more to them? We come to the impression that all they want to do is conquer the planet. However, though we tend to think of the White Walkers as mindless and unintelligent creatures, there's a lot of evidence that these creatures sometimes collaborate with, or even fall in love with humans. It is believed that long ago, there was a commander of the Night's Watch known as the Night's King, who took a pale woman, possibly a White Walker, to be his wife. This Commander Night's King performed blood rituals and was possibly the first person who offered babies to the White Walkers. The interesting thing about that story is that it is said that an army of Winterfell rose to fight against this commander. But there are theories pointing to the fact that this was a Stark and that he may have had offspring. Perhaps the reason the Night King touches Bran Stark is not because he desires his powers, but because he has a connection to him. Beyond magic, perhaps the Starks are the descendants of the White Walkers, and that this is why they carry magic in their blood. Surely this would be a secret no Stark would wish to have known. Now, let's talk with the Stark's connection to the Direwolves. And we all know that they have a connection to direwolves and other creatures, and that comes from the children of the forest. How Stark is represented by the emblem of the direwolf on a silver field. This animal native to the north, and much larger and fiercer than common wool. This symbolizes the endurance, loyalty, and the strength of the north. The direwolf is a solitary animal, but it is known for its loyalty to its pack. This loyalty reflects the strong bond that exists between members of the House Stark, who, despite adversity and betrayal, always find their way back to their family and home. But there's a magical aspect to this symbol, for there are legends that tell that the lineage of the Stark family comes from the first men, who fought against the White Walkers and possibly used direwolves as allies. The reason why the Starks had direwolves is because there is a magical connection between these animals and the Starks. This connection may have been created by the children of the forest through rituals with the first men, just as the Targaryens performed rituals to unite with the dragons in the same way. The children of the forest could have performed these rituals to give more powers to the men so that they could face the White Walkers. Remember that the children of the forest were the creators of the White Walkers, and they then rebelled against their own creators, which led the children of the forest to ally with the men. And it's the reason that the Green Seers were able to use magic and connect to the mind of the direwolves. Perhaps the reason the Starks use it on their emblem is as a reminder that direwolves are allies of the men, and the magical connection that exists between them The idea that the Starks, such as the Targaryens, are the result of a magical experiment is an interesting idea. Now, let's learn about the words of House Stark. Winter is coming. There is a prophecy that winter is coming in the first episode of Game of Thrones. We learned about this motto and its phrase, that it's consistently repeated among the Starks. According to the legend, thousands of years ago, there was a long night that engulfed the planet, and this will happen again. When the Starks say that winter is coming, they are not referring to a season of the year, but they are prophesying that something dark is coming. There are theories that Bran the Builder, the same one who created the ice wall, knew that the long night would eventually come and that mankind would have to struggle with its possibilities. That Bran, like Aegon the Conqueror, had visions of war against the Night King and created the wall in an attempt to stop this war. Interestingly, for both the Starks and the Targaryens, it was the prophecies and the fight against something approaching that led them to conquer, or, well, try to protect Westeros. The secret of the Stark motto is something we might also see in Book 6 or 7. But I have a suspicion that the motto Winter is Coming is more connected to the Night King and the prince that was promised. And it's connected more than we know. Now, let's talk about the ice wall. We can't talk about the Starks and Winterfell without talking about the Great Wall. This place that the Starks have had dominion over since the beginning has castles that can hold thousands of people, and even has magical elements such as talking doors or books or lost stories. I believe that many of the secrets of the Stark family are found in the Great Wall, especially the secrets of its construction and the origin of this family. It is believed that the ice wall was created with giants, though there are theories that Bran the Builder may have used ice dragons, mythical creatures that exist in the books, but we have not seen in the series. And no, the one that the Night King brought back in the series is not an ice dragon, it is an undead dragon. The Starks, I would say, biggest secret is Jon himself. This position might seem obvious, but in a family so full of secrets, their biggest secret to be a more and mere illegitimate son is really not a big deal. But when we learn the story of Jon Snow, we realize it's not a simple bastard son of Ragnar. He is the rightful heir to the throne, a half Stark, half Targaryen man, able to ride dragons, and has a magical connection with the Direwolves. If we were talking about a prince that was promised, it would undoubtedly be Jon Snow, because although he's always fled his destiny, everything seems to point to him as the only hope for Westeros. The big secret is that while Robert's rebellion was going on, Ragnar Targaryen married the Stark after spending his days obsessed with the prince that was promised. Ragnar, like his ancestors, thought that one of his sons would be the savior of the world, and who better than his son with one of the Starks, the albino wolf, a Targaryen born between fire and ice. Jon Snow is the Song of Ice and Fire. He is also perhaps the greatest secret, as he is currently behind the wall, fleeing his fate. But we know he will eventually have to return, because winter is coming. And perhaps even the prophecy of the prince that was promised must be fulfilled.